This is the weekend edition of iFIBER 1 News, where we present some of the top stories from this week and your weekend weather forecast. I'm Bethany Jinks. Stay tuned for the weekend edition of iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
One of our top stories for this week was about a longtime driver for People who recently retired and said her riders were considered part of her family. Reporter Cameron Probert has the story.
Mary Davey made her last trip on Thursday to bring patients from Grant County to Wenatchee for treatments at hospitals. For 4 days a week, during the last 7 years, the now 71-year-old Davey has helped busloads of patients make their appointments. Her route stops in Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy to pick up patients. Davey began working for People 9 years ago after she retired the first time. She said retirement didn't agree with her, so she decided to take a job working for the bus service. After 2 years, she decided to switch to the Health Express shuttle.
But this bus and the babies on this bus are what make my life. Walking away from that is the hardest thing I'll ever do.
She praised the organization's administrators, her fellow drivers, and the team in Moses Lake. She said the riders became her family as they travel from Grant County to Wenatchee for treatments.
These people get on my bus, and some of them are fighting for their very lives since day one. And you take them back and forth to Wenatchee, you hold their hands, you hug them, you love them, you give them encouragement, because a lot of them were going for cancer treatment, and they don't know if they're going to make it or not. That starts the family unit, and everybody hugs everybody. Everybody is together as a family on that bus.
Davey shares her riders' struggles, as many of them fight for their lives. She called them her babies, and when one of them is able to stop riding the bus to go for treatments, it's a moment to cheer.
They leave the bus because they're done with their treatments and so on, and you're happy to see them go, and you're happy to see them happy and well. And it takes me 2 or 3 days before I get over missing them, because I'm used to having them in my family all the time. But what is really heartwarming to me is I can be like at Walmart or the post office or somewhere, and sorry, I call them my babies. I don't know why, I just always have. And somebody will yell my name, and I'll turn around and it's one of my babies from way back when, and we just stand there on the street corner and hug. We don't care.
For Mary Jean Albertus, the shuttle and Davey have become fixtures in her life, as first her husband and then she struggled with cancer.
Mary has become a part of the family. In fact, I used to joke with my husband and said he had an extra girlfriend, because he would come home and tell me what him and Mary talked about or disagreed on. And it just made his day riding with her. She's going to be very well missed.
For iFIBER 1 News, this is Cameron Probert reporting.
Free services and job assistance are offered to veterans on Friday in Moses Lake as part of the annual Stand Down Benefit and Job Fair. Reporter Jeff Chu has the details.
The annual Veteran Stand Down Benefit and Job Fair happens Saturday in Moses Lake. The stand down, which assists military veterans and their families, takes place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Grant County Fairgrounds 4-H building on Airway Drive. Eileen Boylston, Veterans Employment Representative with WorkSource in Moses Lake, said about 10 employers will be on hand to talk to veterans about employment opportunities. Free lunch and haircuts are to be offered along with free cold weather gear. Representatives from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, other veterans organizations, and community partners are to be available. Boylston said a mobile clinic will be there for free physical examinations. The stand down is coordinated in partnership with the Grant County Veterans Advisory Board. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be right back after this.
My name is Kat Sanderson, Managing Broker for Pillar Rock Realty Group. We love the Columbia Basin because it's our home, and we want to give back to our community by kicking off our Pay It Forward campaign. If you buy or list with us, we will donate 1% of our total proceeds to a local charity of your choice and in your name. Call us today at 754-4444 or visit pillarrockrealty.com because we are your local real estate experts.
This weather segment's brought to you by Barry Motors, one great place to buy and service a car. I'm meteorologist Mike Sines with a look at your forecast. We are going to see a very hot weekend in store. Possibility to see some blowing dust around the area on Sunday. And we finally will see a relief from all of this heat, but it won't arrive until sometime next week. I'll let you know exactly when in your 7-day outlook. Here's a look at our almanac for us here in Ephrata. We reached a low right around 60 degrees. Nothing in the way of precip. The sun is going to set for us this evening here in Ephrata right around 7:18. The record high was set back in 1953 of 99 degrees and the record low back in 2010 of 41. For our friends in Moses Lake, they saw a low of 55 and they had 0 as far as precip goes. The sun will set for them right around 7:18. Record low was set back in 1983 of 44 degrees and record high back in 1973 of 94 degrees. Right now, when you step outside your door, 89 and sunny. That's the way it's going to continue to be for tomorrow as well. However, temperatures are going to be higher than usual because we still have the main weather factor in effect. High pressure system is now building. That's causing more stability in the atmosphere for us, and that means temperatures, as we have that decrease in pressure, or increase rather in pressure, we are going to see that the temperatures are going to continue to rise. However, relief is on the way, but it won't arrive until next week, where we will have a few scattered showers and thunderstorms that could make their way in here. As far as your forecast, look out who could see 100 on that map. That's right, Yakima is going to be reaching 99 for their high on Saturday. Long Beach and towards Port Angeles 72, and towards our inland northwest they're going to see temperatures into the upper 80s. Focusing in now in the Columbia Basin for us here in Ephrata, 96 for the high, 94 in portions of Moses Lake. Quincy 95, and Bridgeport 96. We're going to continue to see sun dominate our skies. We could still see a very small cloud here and there out to the left and right of us, but nothing in the way as far as precipitation goes for this weekend, Saturday as well as Sunday. Temperatures are going to change though for us. Check this out. We're going to be hot tomorrow, 94. Sunday, we had that chance of blowing dust that could occur, so just be careful with that, especially if you are prone to allergies. Partly cloudy skies for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to see 40% chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures drop Tuesday into Wednesday with a passing cold front.
Paying your Grant PUD bill with ePay is like getting free cuts in line. You pay when you want, how you want. Get free cuts in line with Grant PUD ePay. Visit grantpud.org.
Oh, dude, I'm just in the theater. It's totally cool.
Ah.
Ephrata girls soccer turned in a dominating performance on the pitch in Quincy Tuesday. The team looks pretty solid despite its youth this season. Here's Sean Wells with the story.
It was the first game of the season for Quincy hosting Ephrata in a non-league match. Both teams were eager to get on the pitch to face off against their rival. The Tigers sported a new-look team, only returning 3 upperclassmen from last year's state semifinal appearance. Both teams were physical right out of the gate, trying to win possession. Maya Spencer broke the scoreless tie for Ephrata in the 29th minute and knocked in her second goal in the 36th. Spencer, along with Jamie Oxis, recorded hat tricks for the Tigers. Oxis scored 2 of her goals in the second half. Gabrielle Flores knocked in the lone goal for Quincy in the 61st minute. Ephrata is back in action this Saturday hosting Grandview, while Quincy travels to Warden to take on the Cougars. For iFIBER 1 News, Sean Wells.
Big Bend Volleyball opened league play at home against arch rival Wenatchee on Wednesday.
Big Bend opened East Region play with a close 4-set loss to Wenatchee last night. The Lady Vikings, fresh off a win over the Knights at the Spokane Invite, were looking to make it 2 in a row, but it wasn't in the cards, and Big Bend opens league play 0-1. The Lady Vikings looked strong out of the gate, taking the first set 25-19. Wenatchee then ran off 3 straight sets to win it. It was a nice bounce back from an 0-5 outing at the Invite for the Knights, and gives new head coach Carrie Daubert her first win. Felicia Nelson led the Big Bend attack with 5 kills and 4 aces. Bryn Bowers finished with 5 blocks for the Lady Vikings. Big Bend is back on the court this weekend for the Everett crossover tournament.
Thursday's CWAC volleyball action saw Ephrata shut out OMAC 3-0. In 2B play, it was Warden blanking Lynn Ritzville Sprague 3-0, and Kashmir getting past Soap Lake 3-1 in a non-league match. Well, the top 5 teams in state from each classification will be participating in the Moses Lake Swim Invitational Saturday. The action gets underway at 11 o'clock at the high school pool. Have a great weekend. We'll be back after this commercial break.
You don't have to drive to Seattle for exceptional cancer care. Confluence Health's cancer program delivers world-class care close to home. We have a highly experienced oncology team in a state-of-the-art facility, and we're a member of the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, which gives our patients access to world-renowned therapies developed at Fred Hutchinson, the University of Washington Medicine, and Seattle Children's. Together with the SCCA, we're delivering world-class cancer care close to home.
Our next story is about a new business in Soap Lake that caters to quilters looking for a luxury retreat. Reporter Jeff Chu has the story.
Soap Lake's newest business is a luxury retreat center for quilters. Cindy Rang, who established the Fabric Patch Shop in Ephrata in 1999, remodeled the former apartment complex at State Route 17 and 1st Avenue Northeast in Soap Lake. She did it with the help of her husband and son. The Fabric Patch has a number of colorful, intricately designed quilts hanging on its walls, and Rang says some might even make their way over to the retreat house in Soap Lake.
I think the shop had only been open for a couple years, and we started offering retreats. I would find a location and then gather together 10 or 12 women, and we would go there. We bought a house in Ephrata, and it was a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and went ahead and went through all of that, got that all set up, and did that for a year in Ephrata.
Rang, a retired nurse practitioner who has been quilting since she was 8, says the retreat house is already booked for fall and spring. She said 23 groups are booked. Quilting's growing popularity is much of the reason why Rang plans to expand to add a conference center in space now used as the property's workshop. Rang plans it to be large enough for 150 people for quilting conferences and workshops. Rang, whose original retreat house was in Ephrata, says she relocated the inn to Soap Lake because of rental house rules in Ephrata. She says the city of Ephrata cracked down on Airbnb-type rentals. That meant she would not be allowed to rent for less than 30 days unless the center became a bed and breakfast inn or a hotel or motel.
Basically, the way it was described was it was that Airbnb craze. They were going to enforce that ordinance that it had to be a month-to-month tenancy. And if it was not a month-to-month tenancy, you had to be a bed and breakfast or a hotel motel.
Rang says the only way she could meet the requirement was to buy a commercial property, which was not affordable. Soap Lake Mayor Raymond Gravel, in his capacity as a real estate agent, showed Rang the landscape property with a view of the lake and Smokeyam Park. That led to the new venture. The facility has room for groups of up to 14 and has decorated rooms and bathrooms much like a bed and breakfast inn. She described the retreat house's clientele who can expect to be pampered while they use the house and its many quilting tables.
What happens on the retreat venue is that either a group of women will get together that are friends, maybe members of a guild, maybe sisters that all quilt and craft together, and they come and then they rent the whole place.
As quilting grows in popularity, Rang says the quilting retreat market is expanding as well. Rang says women who quilt are much like men who seek weekend recreation.
We say that it's sort of like a hunting weekend that the guys have, you know. Maybe they catch something, maybe they don't, but they have a good time. So same thing with us.
I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
We'll be right back.
Quincy Foods, LLC, a subsidiary of Norpac Foods, is seeking motivated individuals to fill the positions of general laborer for their corn harvest season. They have full-time seasonal openings, must be 18 years old and older, willing to work swing shift. Great people to work for in a challenging food processing environment. Apply at 222 Columbia Way in Quincy between 8 and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, or online through WorkSource. Quincy Foods is an equal opportunity employer.
Welcome back. The next story is about how community and business support helped provide upgrades for the Ephrata Senior Center. Reporter Jeff Chu has the story.
Walk into the Ephrata Senior Center and you'll find a new polished look. It's the result of community and business support, most of it donated labor, materials, and money. Sharon Hastings, the center's director for the past 3 years, explained why the center's interior was refurbished.
We knew that we could generate more revenue if we could rent the place out.
Hastings said the center is largely reliant on fundraising.
When I came, I thought because only 3% of the money that we get comes from the government and we have to generate the rest, we needed additional revenue streams. So we have the thrift store, and then this seemed to be an optimal opportunity for us.
That's why the center on C Street in Ephrata is being marketed for its conference room and spacious dining hall and commercial kitchen with catering by Patty Donovan. The owner of All Occasions Catering, Donovan has upgraded the center's lunch and dinner menus. The center has already hosted and catered several events. The center showcased its new look during the Ephrata Chamber of Commerce's Business After Hours event on Tuesday. The event drew more than 100 people. The center's renewal project started a year ago, according to Hastings.
Mary Nelson is a part of our membership, and a year ago in the summertime we had some wonderful chairs that had been donated 10 or 15 years ago, and the chair failed, and she fell out of the chair and knocked her head. And so because of that, we then had to put a membership appeal together to get new chairs. Well, that made the place look way better. So then it seemed like we should paint. And so the Job Corps came over and painted for us. Health Alliance provided the paint. So we painted, and then we got new linens, and then we got a coffee bar, and then we got Vantage Data Centers over in Quincy gave us money so that we could get new things for the walls.
She said the volunteer work and generosity transformed the center with new paint, dining chairs, a new sound system, office furniture, and carpeting. The Paul Lozier Foundation awarded a grant to the center to replace the carpeting, but many other businesses and individuals chipped in as well.
So it became something that became less a place that was about doilies and chintz and that, and more of a place that was a mid-century kind of look, which makes it much more, I think, appealing for a variety of age groups to think about renting the place.
The center's fundraising continues with an effort to replace the kitchen's Formica countertop for $16 a square foot. A fundraising event called The Murder at Deadwood Saloon Mystery Dinner is set for October 17th at the center. Those who attend are encouraged to wear their favorite Western garb. Besides trying to solve the murder mystery, the event features a chuck wagon dinner catered by Donovan. It will include rattlesnake stew. Contact the center at 509-754-2382. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
Rounding out this week's news coverage is a story about a welcoming celebration for incoming 7th graders at Ephrata Middle School. Reporter Devin Higgins has the story.
Ephrata Middle School officially welcomed the newest class of 7th graders with an introductory assembly on Friday. Ephrata High School's cheerleaders and Tiger at Stands teams were on hand as part of the celebration, spearheaded by Principal Kenneth Murray. Murray also used the time to talk to his students about setting expectations and goals for the year, saying it was something he learned back when he was an Ephrata Middle School student himself.
Well, about 3 years ago, I came in as the principal here at the middle school after growing up here. And one of the things I really appreciated as a student here was that tone of high expectations and high accountability. And so work with staff and students to create kind of a vision and a direction where we're going to really push kids to that next level. And when we have that welcome back assembly, it's all about really setting that tone and helping kids understand that. And then at the same time trying to build a little school spirit. So we have a great opportunity to have both our high school cheerleaders and dancers here with us. And it's just a great way to set the tone.
At Ephrata Middle School, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
That wraps up our weekend edition. iFIBER 1 News will be back on Monday at 5 p.m. with the latest news from around the Columbia Basin. Thank you for watching.